Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be going over 5 of the best combos in Dota 2 right now. These are heroes, combinations of heroes that have just a lot of synergy, not necessarily in the laning stage. You know, I've made a couple of these videos in the past, but I've primarily focused on the laning stage, right? Heroes that synergize well early on. And some of these combos do have that, I would say 2 of them do, but the rest of them are really interesting mid-game combos that can take over the match a bit later on. And so yeah, without further ado, let's talk about some Dota combos. Alright, before we get into the main part of the video, I do want to let you guys know that I'm not only posting videos here on YouTube, I also frequently post videos on the website. If you don't know what I'm talking about, almost every single day I'm posting a new video to the gameleap website. We're going to teach you guys in depth about how to get to the next level. So if you want to become absolutely broken, click the link down below and sign up. Alright, the first combo we're going to get into is Tusk and Lone Druid. This one has synergy all throughout the game and is one of my favorite combos in Dota right now. If I'm playing ranked, I play offlane. If I see my position 4 pick Tusk, I almost always lock in Lone Druid. Here's the reason why. Lone Druid's bear works with tag team. So in the laning stage, well, at any stage of the game, you have 3 units instead of the average of 2 hitting with the tag team. It might not seem like a big deal, but tag team does an absurd amount of damage early on, and so yeah, this is crazy powerful. It's also already as is hard to trade into the attack speed reduction of tag team. The ability naturally has attack speed reduction. I don't think people realize that. It was something they added somewhat recently. And with that, and with shards, you can't really man up. Like in a lot of lanes, Tusk will get pushed away when he tries to click tag team by a variety of nukes and slows and stuns. However, with Lone Druid, especially if the Lone Druid goes Orb of Corrosion, which I absolutely think he should. I think the minus armor, right, the 3 minus armor is crucial in a heavy physical damage synergy like Tusk Lone Druid. If you do this, it's very hard for them to push away the Tusk because he's just backed up by way too much damage. And from there, it kind of keeps going. The synergy just makes sense throughout the game. What is Lone Druid's major problem? Getting bursted before he clicks True Form, right? That's one of his major problems. You do not want to get caught before you get your ulti off, which gives you bonus health and bonus HP. You also want to have time for the bear to hit opponents so that it heals the main hero. If you get bursted, you can't do that, right? Tusk with the snowball save gives you a lot of reassurance that you can play up, play for towers, and get aggressive. The other issue Lone Druid has, an issue he solves by buying Harpoon, is initiation. The hero can have a very hard time getting on top of people, right? It's just part of the hero. It's the reason why Ace buys Corrosion into phase boots in a lot of the games. He wants to make sure he can stick on top of his opponents. However, it's still hard, even with these items. What does Tusk do? He initiates. He has 4 disables. 4 disables. The hero has 4 disables. Lone Druid does a disgusting amount of damage. He just needs people to get disabled, and sometimes he needs to get saved, and Tusk does everything. Laning stage, mid game, and late game. Alright, getting into the second combo, we have Dazzle Chen. I was tempted to put Witch Doctor Chen. Maybe you guys are familiar with the Witch Doctor Chen. Basically, the combo is you click Penitence on someone, and Penitence, what it does is it's a single target ability that you cast on opponents, and when that opponent is affected by Penitence, any of your allies who auto-attack them will get increased attack speed. Now, why is this good with Witch Doctor? Well, it works with Death Ward. And it's really funny. It's really funny. It is a disgusting amount of damage. Okay, but getting into the more realistic combo, we have Dazzle Chen. This is something we saw Gaming Gladiators run. Honestly, it just looked incredible, and it looks incredible for a couple of reasons. So there's a lot to talk about, but let's just hop into it. Alright, first things first, what do Dazzle and Chen have in common? Well, they're healing heroes. And so immediately you have some synergy where, you know, you can ball up, you can take towers, you can play death ball. Just very obviously, you can play a heal strat that tries to end the game. And that's what Gaming Gladiators did, right? Obviously, you want to make sure you have like AA band, but other than that, I don't think there's anything too crazy. Maybe something like Doom can be annoying, but Doom also is a very slow-paced hero, and so even though he's anti-heal, he's kind of bad against Death Ball. That one's whatever. Maybe Scotty Carriers, but that item is kind of trash, to be honest, so yeah, there's a lot going for heal comps. What else does Dazzle and Chen have in common? Well, I would say physical damage amp. Dazzle's ulti, even though it's not a lot of armor reduction, does provide armor reduction. On top of that, Chen's Penitence is physical damage amp, and Chen's first item is almost always Solar Crest, so you do have quite a bit of synergy there. And then finally, the last thing that I really like about this combo is the fact that at any point, and by the way, when I'm talking about Dazzle, I'm talking mainly about core Dazzle, so offlane Dazzle or mid Dazzle, which will buy Ags, right? If you're gonna go these builds, I would recommend rushing Ags and then going back for Midas. I think this is the best build. Sometimes after Ags, You can go Forward Staff if you don't want to be greedy, or like Blink Dagger for positioning, but yeah, these are the builds I suggest. But yeah, the last synergy is just creeps plus Shadow Wave. Now the fact that Dazzle can just button mash Shadow Wave with the ulti, right? Bad Juju reducing the cooldown of his spells. You can just Shadow Wave, Shadow Wave, Shadow Wave. And if you can surround someone with Chen creeps, right, you just explode them. And this works very early on into the game because Shadow Wave does a very flat amount of damage. It doesn't scale very well at the damage part. But early on with the Chen creeps, right, let's say around minute 10, Chen ganks Dazzle's lane. And is able to get off a Centaur stun or a net or something like that, right? Maybe the Poison Touch helps him close the gap. You just destroy them. You absolutely obliterate them. It's a ridiculous amount of damage. All right, getting into the third combo is my favorite combo in Dota right now. I absolutely adore this combo. It's Bristle Coddle. Bristle Coddle is, I mean, it just, everything about it just makes me blush. It makes me happy. Okay, in the laning stage, Bristle's main problem. He wants to spam quills, but he doesn't have the mana. So he has to buy stick, he has to buy mangoes. These mangoes hurt his net worth. He doesn't really love it. Even with mangoes and stick, you don't have as much mana as you would like. You would want to spam quills more if you could, but you can't. With Coddle, you can. On top of that, Chakra Magic, not only does it give mana, it also reduces the cooldown of spells, and so you can quill, and if the Coddle's good, he refreshes your mana right after you quill, and you quill again, instantly doing a stupid amount of damage to your opponent. And honestly, that is the main synergy. Bristleback has like a crazy amount of mana problems, but let's keep going. One thing Coddle is really good at is stacking, right? Stacks are imperative to enabling Bristleback to get off to a good start. If you want Bristleback to get off to a good start, you have to give him stacks, ancient stacks. Coddle's really good at that. I would also say that the main way to burst Bristleback actually tends to be through physical damage. The reason why? Well, Silver Edge, right? Silver Edge is going to be bought on physical damage carries, and it's going to be used to try to burst Bristleback. With Blinding Light, you can make that pretty hard. Also, Coddle buys very useful items for Bristleback, main one being Force Staff once again to save him from burst damage. Glimmer Cape is of course good as well. And finally, the last thing I'd like to say is Chakra Magic is better than you'd think. It reduces cooldowns by 6 seconds, and you might be thinking, okay, well, that isn't that good. I mean, Quill is a 3-second cooldown and Goo is like a 2-second cooldown. Why in the world would I want 6 seconds of cooldown? But it's for your Shard and it's for your Ags. Once you have Ags, it gives you a new ability, and it's not considered an ultimate. It gives you the Quill Spray, right? The Giga Quill Spray. On top of that, the Shard gives you Hairball, one of the best shards in all of Dota. High range, applies 2 Goo stacks and 1 Quill stack on a 10-second cooldown. And yes, Chakra reduces the cooldown of everything, your Ags and your Shard. Basically meaning in the mid game when you need mana, you're also just going to naturally be given another usage of your ultimate, which can solo kill heroes, and another usage of Hairball, which is one of the most disruptive spells in all of Dota. And finally, the last thing I'd like to say, and yeah, it just kind of keeps going, is the fact that it just allows Bristle to change his item build. When I play Bristle with Coddle, if the Coddle is going to pay attention to you, what you can do is just skip mana boots, and this allows you to hit your Ags timing 30 seconds to a minute faster, sometimes even a minute and a half faster depending on the game. So yeah, Bristle Coddle has everything going for it, and I'm a huge fan of this combo. You just need a mid to play fast, such as Pango or Earth Spirit or Ember Spirit, something like this. Alright, the fourth combo is Centaur AA. Centaur AA is a very straightforward combo. AA needs a stun. Why? AA does a lot of damage. AA wants a stun with a hero that also does magic damage. Examples of this are Earth Spirit, Primal Beast, and Centaur Warrunner. All of these combos are actually extremely good right now, and a big reason why AA was very popular at the recent TI. The hero was first phase pick banned by the end of the tournament and had an incredible 60-something% win rate. But yeah, in your pubs, the hero is also just as good, right? Centaur is very, very good right now with his scaling. The Heart build into Kai Assange with an eventual Shard is incredible. If you don't know what Centaur's Shard does, every single time he uses Double Edge on an enemy hero, he gets 15% of his strength added on top. And that's how you see these Centaurs with like 10k HP. It's not because they have a ton of HP, it's because of the Shard. And so yeah, the Shard is ridiculous. It also makes Double Edge slow, allowing you to stick on top of targets. And so yeah, basically, Centaur's magic damage is ridiculous. It's extremely high. Stampede does magic damage, your Double Edge does magic damage on a 4-second cooldown, Q does magic damage, and the more strength you have, the more damage your Double Edge does. Right? And so essentially, as you continue to spam your W with your Shard and you have Heart and Sange, you just do ridiculous amounts of damage. And then, of course, Ancient Apparition sitting in the back, chucking down Ice Vortex, amping that magic damage is going to allow Centaur to just pump damage. And sometimes The Centaur can have a tough time sticking on top of people, which sounds crazy because he has a stun and ulti, but when these things end, even though yes, the ulti does slow and the stun is a stun, but after that, after you use these abilities, it can be a little bit weird. You don't want to kite out because you want to keep using double edge, but it can be hard, as I said, to stay on top of people. Just kind of how the hero goes. But with AA's W, you don't really have that problem. And so I really feel like this combo has everything going for it in the mid game. It makes Dota incredibly simple. You click smoke with Centaur and AA, and you look for kills in any lane. And finally, we have another Gaming Gladiators combo. I know I've used 2 now, but honestly, I think the team has some really good ideas. Maybe I should add a Team Spirit combo out of respect, but let's just get into it for now. And that is Muerta Wraith King. Now, Muerta doesn't have a great win rate in your average pubs. I think the hero is a little bit difficult to play, and I don't think the average player conceptually understands Muerta, but I'll try to break it down real quick. Muerta's W, the calling, the thing that spins around with Ghost and does damage and silences, also is a 30% movement speed slow and a 30 attack speed slow. This basically means the ability is just ridiculous in the laning stage. You can't trade into it, and if anyone dies within it, it refreshes the duration and adds a Ghost. This ability is just straight up nuts. It's really that crazy. And then of course the Q as well, Deadshot, putting opponents out of position, is insane as well. And of course you push them into the calling, making it impossible for them to disengage. Now, why is this really good with Wraith King? Wraith King has some of the highest kill potential in Dota right now. The skeletons used to shred. Now they giga shred. Wanna know why? Because they amped the skeletons' damage by 25%. I don't even remember when. It was one of the recent patches. But 25%. They're just like, yep, this hero already kills you in the laning stage. Now it instantly kills you. And some of the clips of Muerta Wraith King in the laning stage, they instantly would just kill people. There was one with Ench, she just died. I was like, what in the world? She was like almost full health and then just died. I was like, what is this combo? You literally cannot lane at some point, and there's nothing that really counters it, right? Every hero dies to the skeletons or gets pushed out, right? I even saw a team, I think they tried to run Naga Siren, but even that can die. Like, it's just not good enough. Nothing, I really think there are almost no lanes that easily lane into this combo, and that's why it's so strong. In terms of mid to late game synergy, I wouldn't say necessarily there's that much. I mean, the heroes are just good, right? They're just very well-rounded heroes. Muerta is obviously somewhat of a backline hero that wants to initiate second. Wraith King goes in first, so obviously there's, something nice there. The heroes obviously enable each other in terms of like overall positioning in the team fight, and that's good. But in terms of like very clear synergy, like Centaur AA or Bristle Coddle or Dazzle Chen or Tusk LD, I wouldn't say there's necessarily as much, but still, the laning stage makes up for everything else. And alright, that's going to be all for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what combos you guys have been using in your pubs in the comment section down below. Alright, I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace! And that's all, but remember, before you leave, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!